Good, happy Friday, everybody, or whatever day this is you're watching this. Hey, we're getting ready to start week 2 next week, and the module is open today. And each week I'll try to give you sort of an intro to what to expect the next week. A lot of the material in this class, you're going to be watching videos, you're going to be reading the book. And so I wanted to give you kind of an introduction to what's going on for next week. For those of you, it's hard to read through the textbook and retain information. And one of the techniques I think that is really helpful is to use, they call it the SQ3R. I'm going to get my face out of there because I don't like that. And so there's a couple different places you can just Google SQ3R. Basically, the method walks you through how to get through a textbook and get the most information out of it. And so I'll post a link to this video for you guys. It's a pretty quick one. And then I also will post a link to this University of Connecticut. It's kind of the worksheet. And so what SQ3R stands for is basically survey. So kind of look through the textbook before you read the chapter, question, so some of the questions you might ask about that. And then as you go back and read through that, answer some of the questions that you had, and then recite some of the facts or terms and kind of go over it, and then create a summary for the chapter that you're reading. So just a quick, easy way to kind of get through there. I always get a lot of questions from students about how to study for the test. The tests for each of the chapters are textbook tests. So they're very specific to the information that's in that chapter. All of the information is within the chapter, but they're timed tests. So you can't just, plan on taking the test and not reading the chapter. You'll have to be familiar with the information. You certainly can go back and reference where it is, but this is a great way to kind of get you prompted for the test. So I just wanted to give you that. And then for this week, the chapter that we're starting with this week, and I'm going to go through the module section. And again, I recommend all of you use the module section. So for this week, chapter 1 really is kind of an overview of nutrition. We're talking about just sort of lifestyle choices, overall health, chronic conditions related to nutrition, the classifications of the nutrients, how some other things might influence our food choices, our culture, our surroundings, things like that. And then at the end of this chapter, probably a big one I saw in a lot of you who are interested in nutrition were saying that you wanted to hear about nutrition quackery. So there's something on there about that. So if you start off each of these modules and take a look at what you're going to be able to get out of it, and then also kind of the to-do list and what you have up and coming, that'll give you a good summary of that. And moving on, I do have for you, and this kind of lends well with that SQ3R reading method. There's an outline and it's specific to the textbook. And so there's an outline in there. There's also a PowerPoint that goes specifically with the textbook. So you might just download the PowerPoint, skim through the PowerPoint. It's pretty in-depth PowerPoint. It's very wordy. It's not the typical one I would use, but it does give you a good outline of what's going on in that chapter. So it gives you a chance to sort of skim through what are the highlights, and then take a skim through the chapter and find the highlights. The cool thing about nutrition is it's great information and the textbook's pretty good. You do not need to turn in the outline. That's all for your own purposes. I also gave this Assessing Diet and Chronic Disease handout all for your own purposes. I don't have any specific needs for you to turn that in. And then here is the chapter 1 lecture, just kind of my more reading for you. I have a quick video on here of just sort of some background in terms of the Healthy People Guidelines, and then a video that talks about John Oliver's look at the supplement industry. It's a little bit long, but it's John Oliver, so you can bear with it. And then here's what I don't expect you to turn in. So there's some fill in the blanks. You might just go through this and make sure that you can answer these questions. Or fill in these blanks, or have an idea of what, how you would fill in these blanks. Again, no need to turn these in. It just sort of, it gives you a background on what maybe to focus in on for when you get to the test. I have some calculation examples on here. Some of the things that we'll be doing is you'll be calculating carbs and percent of calories from carbs. And if you're just not familiar with doing that, I've got some examples on here for you to go off of. Again, nothing to turn in there. There is another play posit on Lifestyle as Medicine. It's a little bit dry of a video, and it's 16 minutes long. And I don't know if it'll show up if I do this. So one of the things with the videos, I think I might have to move up my little screen so I can get to it. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if you click on, like if we click on the video, you can still can't get it. I found this very helpful in a course I'm taking, is you can change the speed to 2 times the speed. So a 16-minute video now turns into an 8-minute video. Not that if you're good at processing at those higher speeds, that works out well. If you're not, that might not work so well for you. But anyway, even on this video that I'm giving you right now, you might want to speed me up because I talk so much. Sorry about that. All right, so there's another play posit that's due this week, and your discussion forum this week is all about motivation. Some of you are hopefully going to be making some dietary changes, or you're working on some different things. And as I still work in the telehealth field, I work with clients trying to make some behavioral changes regarding their diabetes management or diet or exercise. And one of the most important things in making a behavior change is figuring out why that's important for you. Why are you motivated? What's keeping you motivated? So for this week, you can pick one topic to write on. So what is motivation? So in your own terms, what is it? What motivates people, or what hurts motivation? I think that's always an interesting one to look at. So you're going to post on one of those topics, and then you're going to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. And remember, so we're opening today, so your initial post will be due by Wednesday of next week. And I don't have my calendar, but it's due by Wednesday of next week. You can look on the calendar and it will show you. Let's pull it up real quick just so we all know. So chapter 1 is opening here, that's today. And then your initial post is going to be due by the 27th. And again, this gets confusing. I know the due date is listed on there as February 1st, but I can't list 2 due dates for the discussion. So your initial post will be due on the 27th on Wednesday. And then I don't want you to start making replies until the 28th. The reason for that is I want everybody to be able to make their discussion post so that when you go to make those replies, you have plenty of people to respond to. The hope is that everyone gets a response so that there can be some actual discussion going on. And the goal is for you to reply to 2 students and then respond to anybody that's replied to you. If you happen to be one of those people that nobody responds to, then, well, that's a bummer. I don't know what else to say. So that's the discussion for this week, and can't get beyond my little shadow there. And then a couple more things. And then there's a quiz, which again is due Wednesday. I put the quizzes due on Wednesday because basically I'm hoping that will remind you that there's something due on Wednesday and that the initial discussion is due by then. Quick, do 2 attempts, so low stakes quiz there. There's also this little, it's kind of fun. It's just a research article survey. It's some crazy research that came out about chocolate causes weight loss, and just kind of a fun little thing. So you can breeze through those, and your ultimate goal is to find out, which article is correct. Pretty straightforward. And so the next is a little quiz on which one was correct, and so make sure you answer that. Your assessment, there's always an assessment will be due, and scavenger hunt for the week. So I told you I'd embed these in different places, and if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, I'm going to tell you what the scavenger hunt is for this week. So what I would like you to post on in the scavenger hunt, and again, the first person to get it gets 5 points of extra credit on the best place to put it, if you haven't noticed, 50% of your overall grade is your assessment. And so in the comments, I want you to tell me where you want those points to go. If you feel like you want to save that for a future assignment that you're afraid you're going to get done late, you can save it for that, or I will just let me know and I'll give you the extra credit points wherever you'd like them. So again, if you're the first through 4th people, first person gets the best benefit, all the way down to the 5th person. Even if you're the 5th or beyond, you'll still get an extra credit point. So if you're 35th in the class to finish this, then you'll still get that 1 point of extra credit, which adds up over the semester, right? And so here's what I would like you to post on. So we will be talking about the leading causes of death. What are the top 10 leading causes of death, and which ones are related to nutrition? And somewhere in the content in this module for this week, there's going to be information in there talking about the difference between what the leading causes of death are versus the actual causes of death. And so I want you to figure out or I want you to write a post, just, put a post in here in terms of what is the difference between the leading causes of death that are typically listed, heart disease, cancer, versus actual causes of death. What is the difference there, and why was that delineated in the information that you were given this week? And you're gonna have to find what that information is. And what are those top 3 actual causes of death? For the extra bonus, which I don't have extra bonus points, but my question to you is, and I believe it's in there, what % of chronic disease can be prevented by changing these top 3 actual causes of death? So hopefully you watched the video all the way to the end. Have a great week. I really enjoyed this week getting to know everybody, and sorry for these long videos. Again, play them at 2 times the speed. Although I talk fast, so that might be really, really fast, but that will cut the time down. So have a great week. Reach out to me with any questions.